All right, everybody, it's Jeff. I'm back for yet another video, and let's get talking about music, and then we'll be. Huh? Do what? What do you mean? That doesn't make. But I'm. Are you serious? All right. Well, I guess we're not going to talk about music, and we're going to. What do you mean? Not even the background. So I have to change location. Are you kidding me? Hmm. All right, fine. All right, seems like I got to move. Come with me. Ugh. Strike a pose. Ooh, ah. Ooh, hopefully you can see me here. All right, so I guess I'm going to do a thread response to Robert Z. See, Robert won't let us talk about music. He says put the music down and do something different. So, fine. That'll be the video at this time. Yeah, okay, so obviously we all are in the music community and we're all talking music and it's just music, 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 music. But and you get to know names and places and people and you kind of get this camaraderie and you kind of get to know people a little, but yet it's still all about the music. So Robert was relaying the story of one of the other members of the community and how they were getting burned out. So he was like, hey, why don't we all take a break and talk about something other than music? So here we go. I will say, though, I mean, he did specifically in the beginning mention not talking about music and vinyl and CDs and music. He later said nothing about music at all, but it's kind of hard in my situation because music is kind of my life, but I don't have to talk about that kind of music, collecting and stuff. That's been a big part of my life too, but just music in general because I'm a musician. I play, went through the school thing, played clarinet in school, a little bit of violin on the side. By the time I got into my teen years, I started banging on pots and pans. Never took drum lessons, never played drums, just kind of beat on steering wheels and dashboards and my legs and pots and pans, and joined the military right out of high school. And within a few months, 6 months or so of being stationed down in the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, I went to the local music store down there, music instrument store, and bought my first drum set, and just started banging on it, kind of self-taught. Never did a whole lot in the beginning, never took lessons or anything. And then through the years got better, eventually started playing in bands and stuff. So music has always been a part of my life, aside from just listening to it. I've been playing it. And up until recently, and I've mentioned in other videos, played in club bands and, just to make some money doing cover tunes and stuff. So I've never been the type of guy, that never watched sports, never been into that. Not a big do-it-yourself guy. Don't know much about cars. Don't know much about, don't do the hunting thing, even though I'm, born and raised in the South. Not a hunter. Just all the things that are associated with being a man in some cultures, at least, have not been the kind of things that I've been interested in. It's always been mostly music. And so it is a huge part of me. Collecting music, vinyl, CD stuff, that's just, that's the collector of me, the collector side of me. And that's something I've done since I bought my first Kiss album in 1978, probably. 77, 78, I bought Love Gun. I may have told the story before. And I was hooked from there. Bought everything I could get my hands on Kiss-wise. Later discovered a band in the late 70s, discovered Van Halen. And then it just went from there. Anything with, hair and spandex and cool outfits and stuff. But as far as, so, over the years, got out of the military, done a bunch of odds and end jobs, didn't really settle on a career. Around 95, 96, the internet was becoming a fairly big, web pages were becoming a thing. a friend of mine started making web pages, just taught himself, and so I thought, well, let me take a look. I'll see if I can do that. So basically, dissected a website that was in existence to kind of learn how they did it. Again, kind of self-taught. You pick up things as you go. Launched my first website in '96, and then somewhere in the later, a couple years later, '98, '99, somewhere around before '99, that friend of mine who initially had got into web design had a bunch of sites that he did that were like mom and pop type stores. Anyway, so he turned those sites over to me, and I took over a bunch of sites. And so for the next few years, used to do a lot of websites. And again, self-taught. Came back to Virginia to bring the kids back to be where the parents were, because we had been living in other states. I'm actually from across the river, about 30 minutes over there. But so we settled here in Virginia Beach, and have been here ever since 2002. We moved here right after my fifth daughter was born, and then 2 years later, my sixth child, which was also a daughter, was born here. So I have 6 children, as had been mentioned before. Had a boy and then a girl. I'm sorry, a boy and then a boy, and then a girl, and then a boy, and then a girl, and a girl. So if you kind of look at that, it's like 2 boys, 2 girls, and then a girl and a boy in the middle that switched. So it was all planned. My wife is big into fertility and reading stuff. They were all home births or midwife births. Most of them were at home. Some were at hospitals with midwives. We're big into natural medicine and naturopathy type stuff. We're also big into things like essential oils and things like that. So we're kind of strange like that. Anyway, and we had planned all of our children, down to, hey, let's have one now, and So anyway, we had planned for 6, and that's what we had. As I mentioned previously in one of my videos, our oldest son is no longer with us. He passed away at the age of 17, which was pretty much 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years ago this May. Some medical condition. They never could figure out what was wrong, and he basically, anyway, long story short, my firstborn's gone. So I have 5 now, and most of them still, 3 of them still live at home. So my youngest is 13, and then I have a 16-year-old and a 19-year-old that hasn't quite figured out what he's going to do, but he'll probably move out at some point soon. He just hasn't figured out where he's going. So I spend a lot of time with the family. I love doing things with the family. Not much of an outdoorsy type person, so my wife and kids like to go, let's go hiking down at the park, or let's go this and do that. Let's go see nature. I've always been a computer homebody, and so, that kind of separates you from when the family's going out and doing things, and I don't want to go. I'm going to stay here and do some work on the computer. Of course, in the background, all the time I hear Cats in the Cradle playing, Am I separating myself from the kids too much, doing my own thing? So I really do try to pull myself away from the computer, spend time with the kids, do things along that line. So, that's kind of what I do. About 2 years ago, and I mentioned this in previous videos too, about 2 years ago, a little more than a year and a half ago, my wife started, actually it was 2 years ago, or a little more than 2 years ago, my wife discovered this thing called geocaching. I had no clue, no interest. It means you have to go outside. I don't want to do that. She gave up after a couple months because nobody was interested. I wasn't interested, and she just kind of lost interest. And then about a year and a half ago, my brother, who drives around in the RV and travels and works from the road, they're big into geocaching. They came to visit. They come around about every 2 years and spend time with us here. And he came in town, and they have to geocache every day. So we were out visiting with them, and they're like, we got to find one. So we went looking for one. And we read up on it. My wife pulled out her app and said, yeah, let's check it out. Because it's a free game. You don't have to pay for it. And basically what geocaching is you use your phone. You can use a GPS if you have one, but you use the GPS on your phone, and it has a map, and and then you say, okay, there's a geocache, 1,000 feet over there, and you do that, and it tells you the arrow, and you go, and you have reading and clues and stuff, and it's something hidden in plain, in normal public use. There's over 3 million of them around the world. They're all over the place. So you walk by them all the time, but they tend to be a little hidden. And so I said, well, let's see what this is. So I read, and then I ended up being the one that found it. I used deduction. It has to be this, this, and this. And I was hooked. I don't know why, but it was something that was like, I had to use my brain to read these clues to figure out where it was. I mean, they were looking everywhere, and I was just kind of like standing back saying, man, whatever. But anyway, I ended up reading it and solving, where it should be, and I found it, and I was like, let's go find another one, and let's go find another one. And next thing you know, I'm on the way, we're driving home, let's stop and do another one. I was hooked, and so that has gotten me out of the house in the past year and a half. So now I get out, and I go to the parks with the kids, and with my wife, and while we're out there, we're finding geocaches because they're in the park. Or we're going hiking specifically to find geocaching. The point is, I am now motivated to get out of the house. I'm motivated to spend more time with the kids out of the house. And it has become not only something that is mind challenging, it's physical exercise to the point of being outside. It's getting outside away from the computer. And then in January of last year, 2018, I said, hey, people do this stuff and they videotape themselves and put it on YouTube. Let's go out. So we went out and bought a camera and started videotaping geocaching and making geocaching videos. So then that became something I did. I've never done videos before. I'm a graphic guy and a web guy, but never done, videos. Had to buy video software, had to learn how to do videos. Now, when I was in school, in 2005, I went back to school, kind of a trade school, and took web classes so that I could actually have a piece of paper that said I can do websites. So I went back to get a web degree. I said, well, let's start doing videos, and whatever, for the fun of it. So we started filming ourselves. Okay, so part of Robert's just put down the music, so I'll insert this into my video because we're out and about, my wife and I, this nice brisk cold morning. And one of the things we do, which I've mentioned in videos before, and I have a whole YouTube channel dedicated to it, which at the end of most of my videos is of my music videos is a connection to that channel, or some of the videos. Anyway, and that's geocaching. Geocaching, basically, it's a free game. I've mentioned before, it's a free game. You download the app, geocaching.com, and then you'll be surprised that they're all over the place. The app will tell you how far you got to go. It's got a little map. You can use a GPS if you have an actual GPS unit. As you can see, I'm out on the kind of one of the major roads here. It's on a bike path. So you follow the GPS and you go find it. It's just a hidden treasure. It's a little container that has a log in it. You sign the log. There's no benefit. It's just kind of collecting, putting your signature on something, collecting. So it's really just kind of like a treasure hunt with no treasure. When it's a cache, geocaching, it's a cache as in a container, C-A-C-H-E, not C-A-S-H. There's no cache involved. It's strictly a hobby that gets me outside and gets me walking, get some sunlight, and not sit behind a computer all day long. And I hope I can be getting it from the road and not from that path over there. Anyway, so let's come along and see if I can find it. Pretty sure it's got something to do with this bridge above, up ahead. 160 feet, if you can see that. Bridges usually mean there's water. Let's hope there's no water. I don't want to get wet. Aha! This is a geocache. It's a container with a log in it. And I'm going to sign the log. And I found the thing. And I'm under a bridge. And so that's how you find one. And that's what we do. This is my wife, Veronica. Say hi.
Hi.
And so this is what else I do on my spare time. So hope you enjoyed a little look. Check out my channel. It's got a lot of things on it. And then it was about 6 months of doing that. And then and for a long time, because I'm into music, I've watched videos of some of the people online. Scott Waters, because he's really into the Christian metal stuff. That same crowd of people that I hang with, as far as online. So I've always watched him, and then from there I discovered other people that do the same thing. So now I started watching. Hey, let's talk about it. And at that point, when I was watching these videos, I hadn't started collecting vinyl again. I've always been to music, of course, CDs and stuff, but always wanted to get into it, but never did. But anyway, started doing videos for geocaching, and after a few months of doing that, and honing my skills to do videos a little better, I said, I saw Metal Ron had a thread, so I thought, well, I'll make a response to this thread because I have an answer to that, and so I pulled out the video camera and started doing a music video, a vinyl video, and that was it. That started me, and from there I said, okay, I can do this too. So things I like to do on the side. I still do websites on the side for people. I do artwork for some people, not a lot. So a lot of that's what keeps me busy. Now, doing videos has become a time-consuming thing. So now, aside from doing website stuff on the side, my normal day job, and then I come home and do website stuff on the side. Now I do videos on the side. So between geocaching videos and vinyl music videos, it's taken a lot of time. And then we still get out and go geocaching. We do it a lot on the weekends. We keep active with that. So at this point in my life, my time is spent a lot with videos and side work, and still spending time with the family and going out and doing what we can, and geocaching. So ever since I started doing videos, I was in a band, and it becomes so time consuming that I dropped the band because it's a lot of work for very little kickback, and I wanted to devote more time to doing things like geocaching and videos and stuff. So the itch may come again. Every time I get out of music, it doesn't take very long, it seems like, before I'm scrounging through Craigslist looking for a band that needs a drummer. But who knows? I'm having fun now, filling that space with entertaining people like you, and doing videos and stuff. So anyway, that's about it. I am also very involved in our church. I guess that's a side of me that I am very heavily entrenched there. I am in leadership at our church. I occasionally preach when our pastor's gone, so I'm heavily involved there. Work at a Christian ministry, and then very involved in the church. So that is another part that keeps me busy. I do a lot of work for the church website and finances. That's part of why I haven't done videos much in the past week or so, because I had to get the whole tax statements out and everything. Small church, and so small amount of people, and so I do a lot. I'm too talented, and I end up doing too many things. I do video editing, and I do the audio editing, and I do the website, and I do this and that, and then I play drums at the church, and yada yada yada. So I'm pretty busy there. So between work and church and family, I stay really busy, and all the side work that I do. But anyway, my break, my relief, my stress reliever is talking music, making videos, and geocaching. Anyway, thanks for watching. Not sure what else I can say about myself, but that's about it. Thanks for watching. I'm Jeff, and I'm out.